So it is Monday. This vlog is just going to be covering like 2 days, so it might be short, it might be long. It just depends on how chatty I get. But Justin has a certification class he is taking for pool and spa. It's a certification that'll be good for 5 years once he gets it, but it was required for his job since he just started in maintenance, and so that's why we're here. We're about an hour from home, and we're staying in the hotel for tonight, and we stayed last night. I do have to check out at 11 a.m. tomorrow, so tomorrow's events are going to be a little different than today, but today I'm focusing on writing and editing tasks as far as like video editing for my vlog for tomorrow. And my writing is not going to be focused on like getting projects done. My writing today is going to be focusing on like making a strategy for like the rest of the year, because I do want to start focusing on trying to get works published. And I've hit that point where it is now the end of April. We're almost in May. I wanted to get Sultry Solstices published this year. However, I have expectations for them as far as like when I'm publishing them, so I don't think they're going to be ready. And in that case, I need to have other projects ready, and I need to figure out what are the projects I want to publish. So in my last vlog, I mentioned that I was thinking about publishing all the short stories under a pen name, and I think I'm leaning towards that is the direction I want to go. I really think that is the best idea at this time, to put all the short stories for like paranormal romance and fantasy, more paranormal romance than fantasy. Like epic. When I say fantasy, I mean like epic fantasy. So more paranormal romance than epic fantasy under a pen name, and then keep all of the novels and novellas and series like that under SD Hegyes. I am leaning more and more towards that, just because otherwise my SD Hegyes page is going to get flooded with short stories, because with just the Serenity universe alone, there's 49 short stories. So that is why I'm leaning that direction. To make it easier for those who just like reading short stories to read just the short stories, and those who just like reading novels and novellas to read the novels and novellas. That being said, as I'm telling you guys now, I'm never going to hide what pen names I write under. I can't keep a secret to save my life when it involves me. When it involves other people, that's a different story. But when it involves like my stuff, I'm like, I'll blab it like I'm doing now. I'll be like, hey, I'm working on this, and I'll be like, oh crap, that was supposed to be secret. Oh well. Kind of thing. That's the first reason why. And then the second reason is that it's just too much work. And especially like in this day and age of technology, if you say I don't want to reveal something, some asshole out there is going to dig up information no matter what you say. Someone is going to do the research behind it and find you. So I don't feel the need to hide for that reason, because like that's just too much effort just for someone to be like, bet. So what I'm actually working on now is I think it was during a live stream or during a sprint at one point, I wrote down on a scrap piece of paper a bunch of stories that I had completed that need like editing, and that was going through all of my projects. That wasn't just short stories, that was novels and novellas as well. I just put a fingerprint on my glasses because I'm smart like that. So what I'm doing is I'm transferring that to my brainstorming notebook, and as I'm adding that list to my brainstorming notebook, I'm not just writing a list, I am journaling about like what needs to happen in order to get the story off the ground. I'm also using my computer, not just to listen to music, which I paused in the moment, but to compare my lists and make sure all the information that I have is correct. Like if the status for a project says complete, I'm making sure that the word count is inserted, so I can see at a quick glance what kind of story it is, and make a decision on like what name it'll be published under. And yeah, so and then what I'll do later today probably is I'll journal more about like what kind of pen name I want to use for all these short stories. I am leaning towards using Hegyes, which was a pen name I had decided was going to be for like cozy paranormal mysteries, but I think there's a couple of reasons why I don't think I'm going to use that pen name for cozy paranormal mysteries. The first of which is that I am not 100% positive that the way I write my cozy mysteries are actually cozy. Like, I think there might be a little too much violence in them. The subject's a little too taboo for them to be actually considered cozy, first off. The second reason is that at this time, I only have one series idea that would even fall in that genre. And I'm like, I don't see why I'm putting a subset of fantasy, because cozy paranormal mystery is like a subset of fantasy and mystery. I don't know why, when I've got all my other subsets of fantasy under SD Hegyes, I don't know why I decided to put cozy paranormal mysteries under something separate. So, especially when urban fantasy also deals with mysteries, and I like to have like some sort of mystery in my paranormal romances sometimes too. So I think what's going to happen, here are my thoughts right now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to publish my cozy paranormal mysteries under SD Hegyes, and I think I'm going to use Coda Hegyes, which is like a subset of my middle name and my married name. Dakota, for those don't know, is my middle name, and I just shortened it to Coda Hegyes. And what I think I'm going to do is I am going to use Coda Hegyes for all the short stories. And so that's my thoughts right now. I'm still wavering about it. I will probably put up a poll and ask in my Discord group. I'll probably put up a poll and ask on my YouTube channel just to get other people's thoughts. And this is more going to be like after everyone sees my last vlog where I talk about this a little bit more. But yeah, that is what I'm working on today. That's what I'm working on right now. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to turn my music back on and I'm going to continue writing down this list and comparing. My list says that I have 7 short stories, 9 novels, and 2 novellas that are like complete, ready for editing. And then on the back, I was starting to write down projects that are like 3/4 of the way complete, or like started but not complete. Like, these are ones like I would like to focus on as well to get them complete to a status that they're on this list as well, basically. And actually that list should be longer. I just started that list and I ran out of room because this was a scrap piece of paper. So yeah, that is what I'm going to work on now. I will complete the one list of complete projects first, and then I will do another list of projects that are like on their way there. So all right, I'll check in with y'all later. So I'm only doing a tour now, like after our first night, so our stuff's like everywhere. But we first came into the room through this door, of course, and immediately to our left is the bathroom. It's pretty simple. Shower, toilet, obviously, sink. Hi. So pretty simple, just a small little bathroom, full-length mirror. There is a closet area with hangers and extra bedding, and I don't know what's in there, don't care. Iron. In that cabinet is a ironing board, which I think is really interesting. There is a couch and I don't know, little small table, footstool. And then it's got 2 queen size beds. We're using one for all of our stuff and we're sleeping in the other. And yeah, there's this little side table, a mini fridge and microwave, TV. This is going to be my desk area. There's a chair. Justin's already sat in that for a little bit last night while we were watching TV and doing stuff. It's got a phone, Keurig. We brought drinks. So yeah, it's small but it's cute and it works. So it's a little toasty in here, so I'm going to actually turn the heat down a little bit. We had to turn it up because it was cold in here last night. But yeah, I love the artwork. I've always been a fan of artwork though, so I like that. I love that. And that is gorgeous. So, just wanted to show off a little bit. That's our hotel room while we're here for the next night. I'm going to be stuck in here all day while Justin's taking his class. And I'm going to be writing and editing stuff. Yay me! just wanted to pop on here and do an update because I realized I didn't actually close out this vlog. And there's multiple reasons for that. The first of which is that I actually didn't film much on Tuesday. There was some confusion, misunderstanding, lag of details given about how everything was going to work with the hotel. I remember mentioning it on Saturday night on my live stream. What it all comes down to is the reason we were in Great Falls in the first place is Justin just got hired into a maintenance position at his job at the hotel he works at. All fine and dandy, great. He has to be certified in pool and spa. So the training class he was taking was for pool and spa. It was for a certification that would work for 5 years. So he doesn't have to get recertified for another 5 years. Because spoiler alert, he passed his class. So we went to the class. The class was supposed to be Monday and Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And his job was paying for our hotel stay. We went up Sunday night. They were covering 2 nights. And this is where the misinformation was given. Okay, so I was going by traditional hotel stay checkout times. So I know the traditional hotel stay time. They want you checked out by 11 unless you extend your stay. And we were not given the information quick enough to find out because the class did not end until 5 p.m. on Tuesday, if we could wait to check out until after the class. Like, I did not get that information. And if he got that information, he did not pass it on to me. And I learned later he did not get that information until after I'd already checked us out of the hotel. He got it like 30 minutes after I checked us out of the hotel. So, miscommunication, lag of communication, it doesn't matter. I got us out of the hotel by 11. I had all of our stuff packed up and loaded into the truck. I did forget one thing, and that's completely on me. We'll get to that. It wasn't a bad thing. I mean, it was for the hotel people who have to clean the room after us, but I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. But anyways, our stay was good. Monday, as you saw by all the clips, that's pretty much what I did all day. I worked on just handwriting in my brainstorming notebook. I wrote down that list from that slip of paper that you saw, the list of projects that are all completed that I can just edit and publish. I also wrote down a list and I gave details for those. So like, not only did I write down the actual projects, I wrote down details of like what I needed to do to get it there. So like the first one I wrote down, I'll just give you for an example. Cry Wolf Sunflower, which is one of my newer short stories that I've recently completed. I have talked about it a couple times in a couple of recent vlogs. I'll talk about it more in the future. I wrote that it's a standalone short story. I was like, this is the newest project. It's about 13,000 words in length, which means it would be published with all of my older short stories, because I mentioned that I am debating putting short stories under a pen name versus SD Hegyes. I am going with that. It is going to go under Coda Hegyes. More on that in the future. The story needs a full self-edit from me and then beta readers. Laura has volunteered to read spicy stories, so there's that. But one of my questions with all of my spicy works will be, does the spice fit, or would the story be better without it? So I do not think I'm really good at spicy scenes, especially now these days. I'm so out of practice. For those who are unaware, many years ago when the girls were toddlers, I was doing ghostwriting and I was writing spicy short stories for my clients. Like, that's what I was writing. That's all I wrote. And I just burned myself out of it, especially with, like, I had one client that all they wanted was a specific trope. And they gave me scenarios and characters that they wanted to see, but all of the short stories, every single one. And I did like 13 or 14 for this person. All of them followed a specific trope that just gives me the ick. And if you really want to know, it's barely legal. Age gap, barely legal. If you know, you know. And there is a reason I stopped doing ghostwriting. There's a reason I dropped this client. And yeah, I just, And I really haven't done a lot of spicy scenes since then. It's one of the many, many reasons why I don't like writing spicy. And to this day, reading back through my stuff, I'm like, I don't think I'm good at writing spicy scenes. Not that I can't do it, just that I don't think I am particularly good at it. I digress. Anyways, Cry Wolf Sunflower has spicy scenes. One spicy scene. I don't write more than 1 or 2 Actually, I think it has more than one now that I think about it. Doesn't matter. My point is, there are spicy scenes in Cry Wolf Sunflower. And so I wrote something like that for all the stories that are complete. And then after I finished that, the second clip you see is me looking at my computer and looking at my master list of projects, which I've talked about in other videos. And I'm looking to see which ones are like started but not finished and could be finished quickly to be added to this list. And with those, I wasn't writing a detail of what needs to happen. I was literally just writing title, genre, pen name, stuff like that. So like the first one on that list is Dragon Rider Romance, which is one that doesn't have a title. That's the keyword that I'm using for it for now. It's a standalone. It's going to be either a novella or a novel. Don't know which yet. I won't know until I start actually actively writing it and finishing it. And then that one will be published under SD Hegyes. So I wrote a list like that, and it's just a list. And there are 18 stories under the list, under the list that are all completed, ready for editing, beta reading, stuff like that. And then on the other list, these were more stories that were like started but not finished. Like most of them are like 3/4 done. I really just need to push to the end to finish them kind of stories. There was 35 of those. So that's fun. And then the other thing I ended up doing during that day as well is I started planning out what projects I wanted to work on in May, which when I actually started planning out my goals for May, did not once look at that. So I can tell you this, I'm not working on what it says. So yeah, that's what I worked on all of Monday. All of Monday, that's what I did. I was just handwriting and doing that, taking breaks, taking naps when I needed to, basically just letting my body recharge. And everyone's been like, how was your retreat? How was your mini retreat? And I'm like, honestly, it was no different than a regular day for me. And the reason for that, the reason I think personally that it was no different than any other day is currently I am unemployed. This is currently my full-time job. I am doing YouTube and I am doing writing. And I spend all day doing those two things, for the most part. And the reason I think this little mini retreat didn't feel any different to me is because that's what I was doing. I was doing in the hotel room what I would have been doing if I'd been home. The only difference is I did cancel. On Mondays, I have a backstage session with Amy that I usually do. I did cancel that. I was like, I'm not going to be at home. I just rather not. And it was a good thing because I did have some internet trouble. More with that in a second. But like I did cancel my backstage session with her just to like fully embrace the writing retreat feeling, I guess. But in the end, the only difference was that I didn't have to worry about taking the kids to the bus stop or picking them up. I didn't have to worry about letting the dogs in and out or feeding them or trying to cook dinner or plan dinner or answering a million questions about what was going to be for dinner or asking the kids how their day went or asking if they needed to go anywhere or if we needed to do anything, if there was anything going on that I didn't need to know about. Like that literally is the only difference. The interaction with my immediate family at home, my interaction with my kids, my interaction with my animals. That was the only difference. I think this trip would have been different if I was working full-time or even part-time. That, I think, is the difference. Is the reason this didn't feel like a writing retreat for me is the fact that I am not currently working. And so to me, when I've done writing retreats in the past, because this isn't my first one, when I've done writing retreats in the past, it's been me getting away from my life, the kids, the dogs, the cats, the work, and relaxing and spending my time as a full-time author and content creator. And now that I'm actually currently, at this moment in time, a full-time content creator and author, it didn't feel like a retreat. It just felt like the same thing, but different place, different location. Same story, different font kind of thing. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that this was a bad thing. It's just different. And everyone's like, oh yeah, I bet you had the grand time. I'm like, I was no different than any other day. Like there was no difference for me. So that's literally the only thing. But as far as like what I forgot in the hotel room, Justin and I went out for dessert the day before on Monday night. We bought ice cream. I left his ice cream in the freezer. To be fair, I didn't know he had put it in the freezer. I didn't know we had a little mini fridge. I showed that in the tour. I did not realize there was a freezer section in that little fridge. So that's completely on me. But I did forget his ice cream. I just got an ice cream bar. And so like mine was gone within 5 seconds of us getting back to the hotel room. We had gone to the gas station that was just across the road to get our dessert. And we watched Princess Bride while eating ice cream. But I forgot his dessert. So I bought him a new pint of ice cream to put in the freezer. Because he does not like ice cream. He can't eat ice cream because of teeth issues. So when he finds one he can eat and does like... I felt really bad that I accidentally left it in the hotel room. To be fair, because I checked out so early and his class got out so late, it would have been melted anyways. But that is not the point. Because I could have eaten it. I could have eaten his ice cream. Anyways, all of that being said, the hotel was nice. It was nice to stay at somewhere different. Justin and I have both realized that we do not like sleeping in other beds besides our own. We are very picky about our mattresses. We're getting old. So we didn't actually have the best night's sleep either day. Either night. But otherwise, it wasn't that bad. And we watched... there was probably a clip already. We watched Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade the first night we were there. He fell asleep like 5 minutes from the end of it. And then the second night we watched Princess Bride that was showing on TV. So yeah, it was a good time. It wasn't bad, but it was honestly for me no different than being home. It really wasn't. So not bad, but I am ready to have a job again so that when I do another writing retreat, it actually feels like a writing retreat. So yeah, that's how our weekend went, or our long weekend, I guess you could say. If you made this far, leave me some kind of hotel emoji if there is one, or building of some sort. Anyways, I will see you all in my next video. Bye, Dragonlings.